Your love lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here at Google I/O 2017. As you can see, we found some new ways to hardware accelerate Android, this time with jetpacks. But seriously, 2 billion active devices is incredible. And that's just smartphones and tablets. We're also seeing new momentum in areas such as TVs and cars and watches and laptops and beyond. So let me take a moment and give you a quick update on how Android is doing in those areas. Android Wear 2.0 launched earlier this year with a new update for Android and iPhone users. And with new partners like Emporio Armani, Movado, and New Balance, we now enable 24 of the world's top watch brands. Android Auto, we've had a 10x user growth since last year. It's supported by more than 300 car models and the Android Auto mobile app. And just this week, Audi and Volvo announced that their next generation nav systems will be powered by Android for a more seamless connected car experience. Android TV, we've partnered with over 100 cable operators and hardware manufacturers around the world. And we're now seeing 1 million device activations every 2 months. And there are more than 3,000 Android TV apps in the Play Store. This year, we're releasing a brand new launcher interface and bringing the Google Assistant to Android TV. Android Things previewed late last year, and already there are thousands of developers in over 60 countries using it to build connected devices with easy access to the Google Assistant, TensorFlow, and more. The full launch is coming later this year. Chromebooks comprise almost 60% of K-12 laptops sold in the US, and the momentum is growing globally. And now, with the added ability to run Android apps, you get to target laptops too. Now, of course, platforms are only as good as the apps they run. The Google Play ecosystem is more vibrant than ever. Android users installed a staggering 82 billion apps and games in the past year. That's 11 apps for every person on the planet. All right, so let's come back to smartphones. And the real reason I'm here is to talk about Android O. 2 months ago, we launched our very first developer preview, so you could kick the tires on some of the new APIs. And of course, it's very much a work in progress, but you can expect the release later this summer. Today, we want to walk you through 2 themes in O that we're excited about. The first is something we call fluid experiences. It's pretty incredible what you can do in a mobile phone today and how much we rely on them as computers in our pockets. But there are still certain things that are tough to do on a small screen. So we're doing a couple of features in O that we think will help with this, which I'll cover in just a moment. The second theme is something we call vitals. And the concept here is to keep vital system behavior in a healthy state so we can maximize the user's battery, performance, and reliability. So let's jump straight in and walk through 4 new fluid experiences with live demos done wirelessly. What could possibly go wrong? All right. These days, we do a lot at once on our phones, whether it's paying for groceries while reading a text message you just received, or looking up guitar chords while listening to a new song. But conventional multi-window techniques don't translate well to mobile. They're just too fiddly to set up with when you're on the go. We think picture-in-picture is the answer for many cases. So let's take a look. My kids recently asked me to build a lemonade stand, so I opened up YouTube, and I started researching DIY videos, and I found this one. Now, at the same time, I want to be able to jot down the materials I need to build for this lemonade stand. So to multitask, all I do is press the home button, and boom, I get picture-in-picture. You can think of it as a kind of automatic multi-window. I get it out of the way, I can launch Keep, I can add some more materials, so I know I need to get some wood glue, like so. Then when I'm done, I just simply swipe it away like that. It's brilliant. Picture-in-Picture lets you do more with your phone. It works great when video calling with Duo. For example, maybe I need to check my calendar while planning a barbecue with friends. And there are lots of other great use cases. For example, picture-in-picture for maps navigation, or watching Netflix in the background, and a lot more. And we're also excited to see what you come up with for this feature. We're also making notification interactions more fluid for users. From the beginning, Android has really blazed a trail when it comes to its advanced notification system. In O, we're extending the reach of notifications with something we call notification dots. It's a new way for app developers to indicate that there's activity in their app and to drive engagement. So let's take a look. You'll notice that the Instagram app icon has a dot in it. And this is indicating that there's a notification associated with the app. So if I pull down the shade, sure enough, you can see there's a notification. In this case, someone's commented on a photo I'm tagged in. What's really cool is I can long press the app icon, and we now show the notification in place. One of the things I really like about the notification dot mechanism is that it works with zero effort from the app developer. We even extract the color of the dot from your icon. Oh, and you get to erase the icon by simply swiping the notification like that, so you're always in control. Another great feature in O that helps make your experience more fluid is autofill. Now, if you use Chrome, you're probably already familiar with autofill for quickly filling out a username and password or credit card information with a single tap. With O, we've extended autofill to apps. So let's say I'm setting up a new phone for the first time, and I open Twitter, and I want to log in. Now, because I use twitter.com all the time on Chrome, this system will automatically suggest my username. I can simply tap it, I get my password, and then, boom, I'm logged in. It's pretty awesome. Autofill takes the pain out of setting up a new phone or tablet. Once the user opts in, autofill will work for most applications. We also provide APIs for developers to customize autofill for their experience. I want to show you one more demo of how we're making Android more fluid by improving copy and paste. The feature is called Smart Text Selection. So let's take a look. In Android, you typically long press or double tap a word to select it. For example, I can open Gmail, I can start composing, and if I double tap the word byte, it gets selected like so. Now, we know from user studies that phone numbers are the most copy and pasted items. The second most common are named entities like businesses and people and places. In O, we're applying on-device machine learning, in this case a feed-forward neural network, to recognize these more complicated entities. So watch this. I can double tap anywhere on the phrase old coffee house, and all of it is select for me. No more fiddling around with text selection handles. It even works for addresses. So if I double tap on the address, all of it is selected. And what's more, there's more. What's more is the machine learning model classifies this as an address and automatically suggests maps, so I can get directions to it with a single click. And of course, it works as you expect for phone numbers. You get the phone dialer suggested. And for email addresses, you get Gmail suggested. All of this neural networking processing happens on device in real time and without any data leaving the device. It's pretty awesome. Now, on-device machine learning helps make your phone smarter. And we want to help you build experiences like what you just saw. So we're doing two things to help. First, I'm excited to announce that we're creating a specialized version of TensorFlow, Google's open source machine learning library, which we call TensorFlow Lite. It's a library for apps designed to be fast and small, yet still enabling state-of-the-art techniques like convnets and LSTMs. Second, we're introducing a new framework at Android to hardware accelerate neural computation. TensorFlow Lite will leverage a new neural network API to tap into silicon-specific accelerators. And over time, we expect to see DSPs specifically designed for neural network inference and training. We think these new capabilities will help power a next generation of on-device speech processing, visual search, augmented reality, and more. TensorFlow Lite will soon be part of the open source TensorFlow project, and the neural network API will be made available later in an update to O this year. OK, so that's a quick tour of some of the fluid experiences in O. Let's switch gears and talk about vitals. So to tell you more, I want to hand over to Steph, who's been instrumental in driving this project. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. OK, so all the features Dave talked about are cool. But we think your phone's foundations are even more important: battery life, security, startup time, and stability. After all, if your battery dies at 4 p.m., none of the other features that Dave talked about really matter. So in O, we're investing in what we call vitals, keeping your phone secure and in a healthy state to maximize power and performance. We've invested in 3 foundational building blocks: security enhancements, OS optimizations, and tools to help developers build great apps. First, security. Android was built with security in mind from day one, with application sandboxing. As Android has matured, we've developed vast mobile security services. Now, we use machine learning to continuously comb apps uploaded to Play, flagging potentially harmful apps. Then, we scan over 50 billion apps every day, scanning every installed app on every connected device. And when we find a potentially harmful app, we disable it or remove it. Now, we found most Android users don't know these services come built in with Android devices with Play. So for greater peace of mind, we're making them more visible and accessible, and doubling down on our commitment to security with the introduction of Google Play Protect. So here you can see Play Protect has recently scanned all your apps, no problems found. That's Google Play Protect. It's available out of the box on every Android device with Google Play. Second, OS optimizations. The single biggest visible change in O is boot time. On Pixel, for example, you'll find in most cases your boot time is now twice as fast. And we've made all apps faster by default. We did this through extensive changes to our runtime. Now, this is really cool stuff, like concurrent compacting garbage collection and code locality. But all you really need to know is that your apps will run faster and smoother. Take Google Sheets. Aggregate performance over a bunch of common actions is now over 2 times as fast. And that's all from the OS. There are no changes to the app. But we found apps could still have a huge impact on performance. Some apps were running in the background, and they were consuming tons of system resources, especially draining battery. So in O, we're adding wise limits to background location and background execution. These boundaries put sensible limits on usage. They're protecting battery life and freeing up memory. Now, our third theme is helping developers build great apps. And here, I want to speak directly to all the developers in the audience. Wouldn't it be cool if Android's engineering team could show you what causes performance issues? Today, we've launched Play Console dashboards that analyze every app and pinpoint 6 top issues that cause battery drain, crashes, and slow UI. For each issue the app has, we show how many users are affected and provide guidance on the best way to fix. Now, imagine if developers could also have a powerful profiler to visualize what's happening inside the app. In Android Studio, we've also launched new unified profiling tools for network, memory, and CPU. So developers can now see everything on a unified timeline and then dive into each profiler. For example, on CPU, you can see every thread. You can look at the call stack and the time every call is taking. You can visualize where the CPU is going, and you can jump to the exact line of code. OK, so that's Android Vitals. How we're investing in your phone's foundational security and performance. Later today, you'll see Android's developer story from end to end. Our hard work to help developers build great apps at every stage: writing code, tuning, launching, and growing. But there is one more thing. One thing we think would be an incredible complement to this story, and it is one thing our team has never done for developers. We have never added a new programming language to Android, and today we're making Kotlin an officially supported language in Android. So, Kotlin is what our developer community has already asked for. It makes developers so much more productive. It is fully Android runtime compatible. It is totally interoperable with your existing code. It has fabulous IDE support, and it's mature and production ready from day one. We are also announcing our plans to partner with JetBrains, creating a foundation for Kotlin. I am so happy JetBrains CEO Max Shafarov is here today. This new language is wonderful, but we also thought we should increase our investment in our existing languages. So we're doing that too. Please join us at the developer keynote later today to hear our story from end to end. OK, so let's wrap up. There are tons more features in Android O, which we don't have time to go into today. Everything from redesigned settings to Project Treble, which is one of the biggest changes to the foundations of Android to date, to downloadable fonts with new emoji, and much more. If you want to try some of these features for yourself, and you do, I'm happy to announce we're making the first beta release of O available today. Head over to android.com/beta. But there's more. You probably thought we were done talking about Android O, but I'd like you to hear some more about Android, and from that, please welcome Samir. Thank you.
Thanks, Steph. Hi, everyone. From the beginning, Android's mission has been to bring the power of computing to everyone. And we've seen tremendous growth over the last few years, from the high-end to entry-level devices in countries like Indonesia, Brazil, and India. In fact, there are now more users of Android in India than there are in the US. And every minute, 7 Brazilians come online for the first time. Now, all this progress is amazing. For those of us who have a smartphone, we intuitively understand the profound impact that computing is having on our daily lives. And that's why our team gets so excited about how we can help bring this technology to everyone. So we took a step back to think about what it would take to get smartphones to more people. There are a few things that are clear. Devices would need to be more affordable, with entry-level prices dropping significantly. This means hardware that uses less power-packed processors and far less memory than on premium devices. But the hardware is only half the equation. The software also has to be tuned for users' needs around limited data connectivity and multilingual use. We learned a lot from our past efforts here with Project Svelte and KitKat and the original Android One program. But we felt like the time was right to take our investment to the next level. So today, I'm excited to give you a sneak peek into a new experience we're building for entry-level Android devices. Internally, we call it Android Go. Android Go focuses on 3 things. First, optimizing the latest release of Android to run smoothly on entry-level devices, starting with Android O. Second, a rebuilt set of Google apps that use less memory, storage space, and mobile data. And third, a version of the Play Store that contains the whole app catalog, but highlights the apps designed by all of you for the next billion users. And all 3 of these things will ship together as a single experience, starting on Android O devices with 1 GB or less of memory. Let's take a look at some of the things we're working on for Android Go. First, let's talk about the operating system. For manufacturers to make more affordable entry-level devices, the prices of their components have to come down. Let's take one example. Memory is an expensive component. So we're making a number of optimizations to the system UI and the kernel to allow an Android O device built with the Go configuration to run smoothly with as little as 512 megabytes to 1 GB of memory. Now, on-device performance is critical, but data costs and intermittent connectivity are also big challenges for users. One person put it best to me when she said, "Mobile data feels like currency," and she wanted more control over the way she spent it. So on these devices, we're putting data management front and center in quick settings. And we've created an API that carriers can integrate with, so you can see exactly how much prepaid data you have left and even top up right there on the device. But beyond the OS, the Google apps are also getting smarter about data. For example, on these devices, the Chrome Data Saver feature will be turned on by default. Data Saver transcodes content on the server and simplifies pages when you're on a slow connection. And now we're making the savings more visible here in the UI. In aggregate, this feature is saving users over 750 terabytes of data every day. I'm really excited that the YouTube team has designed a new app called YouTube Go for their users with limited data connectivity. Feedback on the new YouTube app has been phenomenal, and we're taking many of the lessons we've learned here and applying them to several of our Google apps. Let me show you some of the things I love about YouTube Go. First, there's a new preview experience, so you can get a sneak peek inside a video before you decide to spend your data to watch it. And when you're sure this is the video for you, you can select the streaming quality you want and see exactly how much mobile data that's going to cost you. But my favorite feature of YouTube Go is the ability to save videos while you're connected, so you can watch them later when you might not have access to data. And if you want to share any of those videos with a friend, you can use the built-in peer-to-peer sharing feature to connect two of your devices together directly and share the files across without using any of your mobile data at all. But beyond data management, the Google apps will also make it easier to seamlessly go between multiple languages, which is a really common use case for people coming online today. For example, Gboard now supports over 191 languages, including the recent addition of 22 Indian languages. And there's even a transliteration feature, which allows you to spell words phonetically on a QWERTY keyboard to type in your native language script. Now, Gboard is super cool, so I want to show it to you. I grew up in the US, so for any of my family that's watching, don't get too excited by the demo. I haven't learned Hindi yet, and I'm sorry, Mom. Okay. So let's say I want to send a quick note to my aunt in India. I can open up Allo, and using Gboard, I can type how it sounds phonetically, tum kaise ho, which means, how are you, in Hindi. And transliteration automatically gives me Hindi script. That's pretty cool. Now let's say I want to ask her how my IO speech is going, but I don't know how to say that in Hindi at all. I can use the built-in Google Translate feature to say, how is this going? And seamlessly, I get Hindi script, all built right into the keyboard. My family is apparently a tough audience. All right. While the Google apps are getting Goified, what has always propelled Android forward is the apps from all of you. And no surprise, many of our developer partners have optimized their apps already. So to better connect users with these experiences, we'll be highlighting them in the Play Store. One example is right here on Play's homepage. To be eligible for these new sections, we've published a set of best practices called Building for Billions, which includes recommendations we've seen make a big difference in the consumer experience. Things such as designing a useful offline state, reducing your APK size to less than 10 megabytes, and using GCM or Job Scheduler for better battery and memory performance. And also in Building for Billions, you'll find best practices for optimizing your web experience. We've seen developers build amazing things with new technology, such as progressive web apps. And we hope you can come to our developer keynote later today to learn a whole lot more. Okay, that was a quick walkthrough of some of the things coming in Android Go. Starting with Android O, all devices with 1 gigabyte of RAM or less will get the Go configuration. And going forward, every Android release will have a Go configuration. We'll be unveiling much more later this year, with the first devices shipping in 2018. We look forward to seeing what you'll build and how we can bring computing to the next several billion users. Next up, you'll be hearing from Clay on one of Google's newest platforms that we're really excited about, VR and AR. Thank you.